let's go to the Dairy Max Built by Nature hotline to bring in the head coach of the 4-1 Fighting Bears of Alief Hastings. We're joined by Coach David Martel. Coach, how are things in beautiful Alief, Texas?
Wonderful. The weather's good.
Well, good. You got us beat then. I am really interested to hear about this past week's win over George Ranch. I know that this was, you guys have been building a program down there, trying to get over the hump. This seems like a really important win for you guys. Does it feel like something has turned with this program now?
Oh, yes, sir. The program's always been going in the right direction. What I've done is I've hired great assistant coaches and great coordinators that have come in that care about kids, that show these kids, the difference between winning and losing and pushing them forward.
You guys, you have one loss on the year, but it's a loss that's aging pretty well, I'd say. You lost 21-7 to Cy Falls a couple of weeks ago, but since then, boy, howdy, it seems like you guys have really hit another gear. Did you feel like something changed after that Week 2 loss to Cy Falls?
No, not really. I think that it was a great lesson to be able to lose the game to the Cy Falls program. Coach Brister does a great job over there. We did lose our starting quarterback on the fourth play of the game while we were up 7-0. And, our kids just kind of, if you would, put their head down a little bit, because they was thinking who's going to lead us. Mm-hmm. And at that time, we had a young man that came in and did a great job, but then we threw an interception for a touchdown. We had a fumble for a touchdown, and things kind of went crazy after about an hour delay, rain delay. So we was hoping we'd get the quarterback back, but that didn't happen. But it was a good lesson for our football team to be able to continue forward. And then, of course, the next game, we've got a high-powered offense versus Kempner, which is a Veer football team. And both quarterbacks were down, so I moved an outside linebacker to the inside linebacker that was a JV quarterback, if you will, last year. And, he looked good. He took off. So,
Coach, you guys have, you've been there. This is your 5th season there at Hastings, and every single year you guys have taken a step forward. You guys have seemed to improve. You guys are moving in the right direction. When you entered this job here at Hastings, you came over from Hardin-Jefferson. When you took over this job, what did you have a kind of time frame as far as building this? Everyone wants to win right away, but did you have a plan? Is this part of a long-term plan that you guys have been executing?
Oh, yes, sir. You always have to have a plan when you get a new job that comes in. And the first thing was to hire great coaches that's going to come in and care about kids and has great knowledge of the game of football. But it doesn't really it doesn't matter how much you know. It's what you can get across to the young men that you have. We're not able to go out and recruit kids. This is what we have, and this is what we've got to build our program on. And we started doing that, and then we started changing the culture. The expectations started picking up, and from there it just took off. I got a great defensive coordinator in Brian Layton with a great defensive staff. I got a great offensive coordinator with a great offensive staff. And all of them are committed to making our kids better, and that's what it takes. It looks like Coach Martel gets all the credit, but I give all the credit to my assistant coaches and my coordinators because they do a whole lot.
We're talking with David Martel, the head coach of the Fighting Bears of Alief Hastings here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, you mentioned your defense. I want to key on that for a minute. This defense has really seemed like it's caught fire lately, and understandably, one of the guys I knew you were really excited about was Javon Leon, your outstanding defensive back. This guy has really led the way. How important is it to have him, not only because of the playmaking ability that he brings to the table, but also because of the senior leadership that he gives?
Yes, sir. I'm going to correct you. Javon Leon is defensive end for us.
I'm sorry, yeah.
I know he has number one, and there's a reason why he has number one. Doing the things right and in the off season and all that, and working as hard as he can to possibly be the best player. And he's a great leader. And, of course, in the secondary, you've got Jared Wiltz and you've got Ja'Cory Benjamin, you got Caleb Norman, you got Chris Asuji, you got guys that are, veterans there. Our defensive front is, we run a 3-4. We've got three of the best defensive tackles that I believe in the state of Texas. And we've got great outside linebackers. We've got great inside linebackers. We just got to make sure that they play together and continue to fit where needed.
I appreciate the correction, Coach. It's very important.
No big deal. I just
I need it. Please, somebody needs to keep me in line. But I will say, one thing that when you take a look at your team, and especially your defense, you look up and down this depth chart. You look up and down the guys who are producing for you. It's senior. You got very senior heavy defense. I mean, for you, what kind of advantage is that for you and your defensive staff to be able to throw out a lot of guys who have a lot of good experience and a lot of guys who are used to playing important games?
Well, it's great. There's always a positive side to that. The guys are coachable. They know what they're doing. Been doing it for 3 years now. Actually 4, but 3 on the varsity level. Mm-hmm. The downside to that is next year you got to replace all of them. So we're excited about our defense and our offense as well. I'm not taking anything away from defense. Mm-hmm. We're number 1 in the district right now. We're only giving up 219 yards. And our offense is averaging 38.5 points a game and putting up big numbers. So I'm going to have more coming back on offense than I will on defense next year. What do? You rebuild the defense with the players that you have on the JV team and have a great offseason and just continue what we do on the offensive side of the football as well. But we've got to have a great offseason.
Yeah, it's obviously, it's a blessing this year, but I know that coaches are always looking ahead, thinking about what next year is going to hold. You guys are off to a fantastic start, offensively as well. You guys have really caught fire, and boy, it sure seems like Javon Williams, your quarterback, sure seems like he's growing up. I mean, this kid was pretty darn good last year, and it seems like he's hit an extra gear. How have you seen his game change from last year as a junior to this year as a senior?
Well, he's a very committed young man. He's also one of the most competitive young men that I've ever had a chance to coach. His leadership ability is second to none. I mean, he's just an unbelievable young man. He wants to win so bad that sometimes we've got to slow him down, but he makes the correct reads. He does things right. The sad thing about it is he has no offers right now, and we're sending film all over the state of Texas and everywhere that we can because this young man's going to be a quarterback one day, and he's going to play college football, and he deserves that because of what he has done here at Hastings High School.
Yeah, the numbers are, for those who don't know, the numbers are really impressive. I mean, this is a kid who's averaging 200 yards through the air and another 61 on the ground every single game, and again, going up against some tough competition as well. This kid has been really, really special. It's kind of stunning to me that I didn't realize he didn't have any offers. That's to the coaches listening, give this kid a holler. He's a playmaker. Coach,
and he didn't play in one game.
Yeah,
he's missed a game, so but. He's a great young man.
Well,
look for exciting things for him.
Yeah, absolutely. We're talking with David Martel, the head coach at Alief Hastings here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today, Coach. No rest for the weary. You guys, a week after beating George Ranch in a big game, on the road out there at Trailer Stadium, now you guys come home. It'll be 7 o'clock Friday night at Crump Stadium. You guys welcome in a pretty hot Strake Jesuit team. A team that's really impressed. I'm not going to ask you to give away your game plan, but Friday night, what are you seeing from what you're going to see against Strake?
Well, Strake they're a very good football team. They're well coached. They run a pro style offense, and Clay Kubiak and his staff does a great job. This is going to be, I'm thinking that this is going to be their first real test, if you will, because of our defense and their offense, and our offense versus their defense. So, look for fireworks is all I can tell you, and I just hope that, we do our end of the job and take care of the things that we're supposed to take care of, and because, I know that they will. They're very well coached. Of course, our teams are very well coached as well.
Finally, Coach, I know that you are you're a relatively local boy from down there in Southeast Texas. I know you played ball at the University of Houston, and I'm real interested to hear if you have any good Bill Yeoman stories. We are very big fans of Bill Yeoman around here. I'm interested to hear if you have any good Bill Yeoman stories.
Coach Yeoman is he great coach. First of all, very, very personable coach. Loved playing for Coach Yeoman. One story that I can tell you is that I know that the man, he was a true believer in the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And whenever he came to practice, it looks like it was going to rain, and he parted the skies, and he made the sun come out, and we continued to practice. And never heard the man say a cuss word in my life. Just a true leader and a great man. And it was my pleasure playing for him.
Well, right now is obviously you've taken something from him. You got Hastings off to a fantastic start, 4-1. You can see them this Friday night at Crump Stadium as they take on Houston's Drake Jesuit. Coach, congratulations again on your hot start and your win Friday or last Thursday. Best of luck this weekend down the road.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you guys calling.
There he goes, David Martel, the head coach. The Hastings Fighting Bears. It's got to be the Fighting Bears. Never just the Bears.
Right.
Fighting Bears.
More ferocious.
Yeah, they're more ferocious.
Yeah.
It is. I'm telling you, you think about where he started this program. I'm pretty sure his first year, I want to make sure I get this right, but I'm pretty sure his first year they were 1-9. And then it was just a slow build, right? It was, they 1-9, 2-8 in 2016. And then they were 6-3 last year, and obviously 4-1 right now. They are trending in a very, very positive direction. And suddenly, you take a look at that district, and they're right in the hunt.
Yeah,
they're right in the hunt.
They got a showdown with Pearland coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Like you mentioned, that Cy Falls loss is aging really well.
Cy
Falls looks legit.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that you look at that and you say, oh well, you never take a loss, but then you start rooting for that team.
Right, and then he mentioned Williams went out with an injury in that game, so it's like, okay, who knows what could have happened
to bring him back. Exactly. So it's very, very exciting what's going down there in Alief. We appreciate Coach Martel hopping on with us.